Hello and welcome to this CEI active online lecture. This is on chunking. So what does chunking mean in a teaching context? Have you heard it before? Do you know what it means? Have a think. So pause your video now and answer the question. Is it A, B, C or D? So it is in fact B, splitting teaching into discrete events. Let's look more at this now. There was a University of Sydney study done on effective teaching practices. Now, this was in a face-to-face context, however, the patterns still remain the same. What they found was that effective teachers generally had this sort of flow, not these specific activities. They started here with the brainstorm. They were able to get students connecting what they know with the future topic of today's class. And then they followed that with a lecture. After the lecture, there was some sort of interpretation. In this interpretation, students were actively involved with engaging with the teacher, with the data, and as well as other classmates. These sorts of patterns, interaction patterns existed. Next, the yellow, there was another lecture, a bit of longer lecture this time in this pattern, followed by a case study. Now, I'm unsure whether the case study was read beforehand or not, but the fact remains that there was a break within the lecture to focus on contextualizing the lecture content within this case study. There's also students discussing this together, again, with the lecturer, with the other students, and they were engaging with the content of the lecture in the case study. They followed that up with an example of something called a think, pair, share, where individuals get together and then share it out with the class. Finally, a little lecture remained and then a minute paper to sum up and so that faculty can collect what students know. This was a typical pattern of effective teaching practice. Now, this is what Dr. Kelly Charles said at the University of Sydney. There was this lecture followed by activity, even more active learning than lecture in this in Dr. Kelly's example. But this is what that lecturer said. What activities effectively engage your students? Have a think about this now. Jot down your ideas. I'm going to outline chunking by concept, topic, theory, or model. And I'm going to take this one example of a framework by Garrison and authors. It's the presence in online learning communities of inquiry framework. There's 3 dimensions. And what I would do is maybe have a video. We're talking about online lectures here with chunk by video on overview, and then each presence as well. So maybe 4 chunking. However, what we may not include are maybe irrelevant details. Let's think about technology. So we know that technology has to be included for an online community of inquiry to happen, and that the technology can certainly shape the online learning. However, technology isn't featured in this specific model, and it's an additional point. It's not core to understanding presence. So therefore, I wouldn't include technology within this chunk. Let's think about chunking by working memory and time. So back in the 50s, George Miller understood chunking by working memory, that we could hold 7 concepts. Cognitive researchers tried to find how understand more about working memory and the type of information being processed, but there's really no set formula. It's a balance. It's always a balance, and especially with our ZU students. Lately, John Medina has recommended perhaps 10 minutes for a lecture, and Stephen Brookfield recommended 12 minutes. As we saw before, Dr. Kelly was using a 10 minutes lecture, 15 minutes active learning. So what's a balance for you? You know your students best. When, why, how do they lose attention during lectures? Then we need to actually chunk them by files to give them to students. Now let's take this same framework again, the Presence in Online Communities framework. And we may have 4 videos at first, but if we break down teaching presence, what are we saying about teaching presence? How can we even chunk further? And you may need to even go down as deep as splitting teaching presence into 4 separate files, separate videos. If these videos are longer than, this time allowed, 10 to 12 minutes? If it is, then break them down into manageable components because it's easier for students to navigate. It certainly is. We don't want students to sit through a 30-minute lecture if they need only Z at the end, but they have to go through X and Y to get through to Z. So now I'm going to ask you to do a post-lecture activity. How would you chunk your next online active lecture? Think about concepts that you would use, the time and working memory, and also the files that you would create. What I'm going to ask you to do is to write your answer in this week's Google Doc. Thanks very much, everyone. Have a great day.